The following takes place between 4000 BC and 2011. Significant areas of disagreement between Genesis and science include the origin of life and the age of the earth. Science has not discovered how life began. In fact, there are literally hundreds of competing and mutually exclusive scientific theories concerning life's origin. Science insists that, whatever the process, life had to have begun billions of years ago. Genesis tells us that God created life in 6 days. It would seem then that the age of the universe is important in this contest between science and Genesis, and some Christians have attempted to integrate their Bible beliefs along with the extreme ages promoted by science. Yet there is scientific evidence that the universe is young. Robert Gentry, PhD, has found polonium halos in granite rock around the world, and yet polonium has a half-life of only about 3 minutes. If the magma had been cooling over millions of years, as science tells us, these halos should have been destroyed. The moon's orbit averages a distance of 238,855 miles away from the Earth. The moon's orbit decays approximately 1.5 inches every year. If the universe is truly 4.5 billion years old, then the moon should have moved away an additional 106,500 miles. One of the most pervasive challenges to Genesis, it seems, is the age of the dinosaurs. Is science correct when it claims that dinosaurs died out more than 65 million years ago, despite the fact that nearly all ancient cultures had memories of large reptiles known as dragons? The dinosaur problem is one that seems to support an old Earth age theory, and at the very least convert the Genesis account into a non-literal creation story in the minds of some. No creature, however, is more thoroughly described in Scripture than are the dinosaurs Behemoth and Leviathan at the end of the book of Job. However, even some Christians assert that the Scripture there is only describing a hippopotamus. But something is amiss. For example, Argentinosaurus, a titanosaurus whose fossil remains were found in Argentina, was estimated to weigh up to 100 tons and to have a length of between 90 and 115 feet. The hippopotamus stands at most 4.5 to 5 feet at the shoulder and 13 feet long. These creatures are shown to scale here. If one believes that God created all creatures, then Behemoth had to have been a dinosaur. Ancient Central America was the land of the Corvichi, the Karachi, the Cortega, the Diqui, the Bribri, Chibcha, Chiriqui, Carib, Nicoya, Gallardo, Talamanca, and many others. The ancient American pre-Hispanic civilizations spanned the time period between 2000 BC and 1600 AD, and because of advanced farming techniques, their cities preceded the cities and civilizations of Europe. They left a testimony in the form of magnificent art, artifacts, and stone monuments. The creatures that they memorialized in their art were expressive, intricate, and at times very. The Diqui culture of Costa Rica is best known for the giant stone balls that have been found there. This story is about a gold pendant created by this Diqui culture. Plesiosaurs have been traditionally divided into 2 major subgroups: the long-necked, small-headed elasmosaurs and the short-necked, larger-headed pliosaurs. These subgroups are somewhat arbitrary. Dolichorinchos was one of those short-necked, large-headed plesiosaurs. Dolly is thought to have grown up to be 18 foot long and to dine on squid and other soft fishes. The remains of this animal were found in North America. According to current scientific belief, this creature became extinct about 65 million years. You are looking at a museum-quality reptile pendant from the Diqui culture. It's made of gold, from Costa Rica, circa AD 500 to 1550. Source is the Robert Dallin Gallery. All works of art are guaranteed to be authentic and as described unconditionally for as long as they are owned. A closer look at this reptile pendant reveals that it is in fact a depiction of one of the short-necked plesiosaurs, or pliosaur. Here, our reptile pendant is compared to Dolichorhynchus and to Plesiosaur, Pilosaur, another possibility. In any case, the depiction is clear. Here is an animal declared by science to be extinct for 65 million years, accurately depicted in gold by a civilization less than 2,000 years old. With Pliosaur, W. H. Holmes, in his 19th century book, The Ancient Art of the Province of Chiriqui, defined certain objects as alligatorware. These designs ranged from rather realistic to the most highly conventionalized representations of the animal. But even as early as the late 1800s, Darwinism had caused scientists to be circumspect about this term reptiles and attributed many reptile or dragon depictions as depictions of the alligator. In fact, some of the depictions really were of alligators. Here are a few examples of the alligator motif from the 1888 book by W. H. Holmes. Some may see the alligator in all these depictions, but it seems that the ancient Costa Ricans might have been familiar with the dinosaur. These, however, are not the object of specific interest here. The Chiriqui culture was an ancient Central American culture that flourished between 800 and 1200 AD. Chiriqui means Valley of the Moon. The American Anthropologist, Volume 9 of the American Anthropological Association, 1907, published a picture of a Chiriqui alligatorware which had been exhumated from a gravesite near San Jose, Costa Rica. The piece in question was obtained for the Carnegie Museum from Dr. George Grant McCurdy of the Yale University Museum, and is further described as a tripod base. According to Wikipedia, Ceratosaurus was a fairly typical theropod with a large head, short forelimbs, robust hind legs, and a long tail. The name means horned lizard, in reference to the horn on its nose. It was characterized by large jaws with blade-like teeth, a large blade-like horn on its snout, and a pair of hornets over the eyes. Uniquely among theropods, Ceratosaurus possessed dermal armor in the form of osteoderms running down the middle of its back. The tail of Ceratosaurus comprised about half of the body's total length. Of course, Ceratosaurus and his bipedal dinosaur brethren supposedly went extinct 65 million years ago. But did they go extinct 65 million years ago? Let's look more closely at this alligatorware from the Chiriqui culture and remember the description of Ceratosaurus: bipedal, snout and eyelid horns, dermal armor in the form of osteoderms running down its back. Osteoderms are bony deposits forming scales, plates, or other structures in the dermal layers of the skin. Perhaps this early American, Central American, Chiriqui culture tripod ware does not represent an alligator at all. It represents the Ceratosaurus or some theropod dinosaur. Here it is shown in comparison to several Ceratosauri. In fact, the horns and the dermal armor make it appear to be a specific type of theropod, the meat-eating cousin of the ferocious Ceratosaurus, or a close cousin. In March 2011, paleontologists announced the discovery of a flat-headed dinosaur dubbed O. huaylobensis in Brazil. The dinosaur was thought to be related to the spinosaurids, and spinosaurid heads in general resemble those of alligators. That's a common feature, according to paleontologists. A more well-known and possibly related flat-headed dinosaur was Suchomimus, which also had a flat alligator-like head. And yes, flat-headed and alligator-like dinosaurs are thought to have gone extinct more than 65 million years ago. These alligator-headed and flat-headed dinosaurs put me in mind of something I'd seen in an old book. Ometepe is an island formed by two volcanoes rising from Lake Nicaragua in the Republic of Nicaragua. The peoples there inhabited the island, it is thought, beginning from 2000 BC. In the book, The Native Races, Volume 4, by Hubert Howe Bancroft, published in 1886, on page 39 of that section, Nicaraguan Antiquities, we find the following quote and drawing. Ometepec, rich in pottery and other relics, and reported also to contain idols, has yielded to actual observation only the small animal Kushan, which means in the lying position, represented in this cut. This animal idol was secretly worshipped by the natives for many years, even in modern times, according to the author, until this unorthodox practice was discovered and checked by zealous priests. This animal idol was about 14 inches long and 8 inches in height. The creature identified as an idol appears to be some type of reptile. Its length of legs and other features suggest that it is not an alligator or a crocodile. In fact, it appears to resemble very the full armor of God or of Darwin. According to Wikipedia, ankylosaurs, a group of dinosaurs, armored dinosaurs, were among the last group to survive prior to the KT extinction, which was allegedly 65 million years ago. These dinosaurs, according to Darwinists, evolved their armor over millions of years. Of course, Genesis claims that they were given their armor at the creation. Nodosauridae are related to the ankylosaurs, the biggest difference being they did not have the club tails. The Museo de Jade is located in San Jose, Costa Rica. It's located on the 11th floor of the Institute for National Security. The building is easy to locate, but the museum entrance is off to the left side as you approach the main entrance. The exhibit is the largest American jade collection in the world. Over 6,000 works of pre-Columbian art and jewelry are domiciled there. All of their exhibits are not jade, and their collection comes from all over the Americas, including ancient North America. As you can see, this ancient South American depiction looks quite a bit like the Nodosaurian armored dinosaurs that we've been looking at. Here, our ancient Costa Rican piece is compared to an ankylosaur. On this slide, I'm afraid we've used up our special effects budget. This ancient Costa Rican piece clearly represents an ankylosaur, and specifically a nodosaur. We got to confess that the biggest difference between the depictions is the head. So the question is raised, are scientists who have never seen a dinosaur wrong in illustrating these creatures without external ears? The end.